what is the problem? Is it UCC? Is it overcharging them, the taxes? I don't really understand. They encourage them, of course, to start. And then after in the process, these taxes, they accumulate, and you find that they become a challenge to media houses to maintain. And in a very short period, a media house closes. And when you ask, it is the taxes were too many, especially the TV stations.
Yeah.
So that is, if the report that was approved in Parliament is going to bring change to that, maybe that is a good step. But otherwise, there's something there I don't really understand when it comes to the charges. The charges, exactly.
Yeah, I think you really have a point in regarding to that. You know, somebody could be asking themselves, could it be that these communication houses are not efficient? Are they the problem? All the stakeholders in which they operate in, you know, the industry stakeholders being into the ones responsible for all this. So I believe this matter should be addressed. But let me hope we shall see change. You know, my whole perspective is, I don't care what is presented. Okay. At the end of the day is the aftermath of it. You know, the stakeholders that you are standing for, are they benefiting from the proposed, from what you propose to the Parliament? You know, it doesn't really matter, but implementation and acting upon every aspect to benefit the affected parties.
Exactly.
And well, besides that, now Sam Hanifa is before us this morning to take us through some of the trending information in the world of business and what to look out for in business today, tonight. Sam, what's making headlines?
What is making headlines today is that I'm going to look at supplementary budget.
Okay.
You see, we looked at it last week, and on Thursday, the legislators rejected it. You also what happened.
The president.
You also what happened in plenary that day. The speaker was forced to suspend House because he could not. He even failed to contain the mood. Both from the opposition and the ruling party, members said no to this supplementary budget. We are not accepting it because of what government prioritized. To them, they think that the issues, what fell in the supplementary budget shouldn't. Otherwise, I intend to follow on that because it was pushed to next week, which is this week, and it is coming back tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. And of course, the supplementary budget today morning, we saw something to do with the Uganda Revenue Authority also having a target, and the Finance Committee assured them of support. They have a target that they put in place. If I'm to just briefly take back a little look at their target for the next financial year, for the viewers to easily understand what they really wish to have, is that URA's target is 29.33 trillion Ugandan shillings for the next financial year. Of course, they've been recording some supplementary, they've actually been reporting or posting surplus in their targets for the financial year, normally, whether in the domestic kind of tax collections and everything. But will this be realistic? We shall look and see, because the Ugandans do seem to be at times non-compliant, but by the figures that are being posted at the end of, for example, a given quarter, clearly show you that Ugandans are paying these taxes. And of course, though there's a projection of more registered people, there's a projection of more people to get onto the registration book for URA as the revenue or the taxman continues to grow its tax base or widen its tax base, including even the informal sector or the informal businesses. Before we go into the break, I have a very huge concern though. I've come to realize in Uganda, our economy tends to come to a standstill during such days or during public holiday. I don't know if it's my own notice, but by the look of things, it is not, it's not like I am against people taking holidays or leaves, but you get to realize that there is a certain sector that is always limited during, for example, these religious holidays, because religious holidays tend to be the ones that give us a long journey of because Ugandans rarely appreciate or celebrate the other public holidays like the national days. It is rare to find businesses closed on Independence Day, for example. It is rare it's rare to find businesses closed on Women's Day. But when it comes to Easter holidays, businesses closed for 4 days. Today the road atmosphere clearly shows you why that is so. Then also, when it comes to Christmas, the festive season in December is one of those times when Ugandans close their businesses for almost 2 weeks until the next year starts. Then, for the Muslim community, Eid Day. I think we only taking these days as the most important, and why do we tend to, I don't know what your views are, the two of you, when it comes to this. Why do we tend to leave the economy closed during such celebrations?
But actually, to a great extent,
yes,
the economy kind of people seem to be down in terms of that. But there are some other activities that go on. Some people may not really actually work. They may not work at the physical address. Some of them, and you find that majority will be available when there is need.
Sure.
For example, I was some personnel I was trying to interact at the beginning. I think it was late last year. I'm like, no, now what I be during Christmas I'm with family, but if a client calls me and they need this, I'll have a purpose to report, of course, to go and work on them. But that's on order basis, and you book in advance.
True.
Though majority are totally shut off, but still, despite the fact that I remember going down to, I did a survey in the different areas. I went to downtown Chikubo, I went to Wandegea, but surprisingly, they were open. I mean, business was actually moving.
No, by the look of things, those in the informal sector rarely close during such times.
Exactly.
Or they will actually close in the afternoon. They may operate from 8 to around 2 p.m., then business is down completely.
But me, I think, you see, Ugandans are religious people. When you go to the Muslim community, those people are committed. When you go to the Catholics, they are committed. When you go to the Adventists,
Seventh Day,
name it, Ugandans are religious people. So if these holidays, the religious holidays, they tend away, they tend to, those days unite them. But when you come to these other public holidays for the country, independence, people don't really tend to care so much. But when it comes to religion, it is a topic faith. That it is faith. It is somebody's faith. It is something that really touches somebody's heart. They are committed. Ugandans. What I know about Ugandans, they are religious people. When it comes to religion, they give it all. And like when it comes to politics and whatever, they just go on with their day-to-day business. But it is religion that it is on such days that they look at family. They go look for family. Those who travel to the villages, that is the chance they get. You cannot tell someone. You cannot tell someone to travel to Masaka on Independence Day.
Yeah, very true.
It's just a day. It is just one day.
But you see, my argument still goes around how our businesses survive. It goes back to the fact that our businesses are dependent on an individual. And we are yet to set up what you could call a business. I think in Uganda, we are yet to set up a business structure which can still run even minus your presence in it. Whereby you still earn the money regardless of whether you're actively or whether your employees are actively on ground. In a situation where all your employees are home, on holiday, but it's still business running. And it's very rare with that kind of situation. I think it will be adopted later on. And when Anifa says that Ugandans are quite very religious people, they are. Because some of the Easter Sunday tales from those who went to church yesterday will tell you at the bidding process that normally happens in churches, whereby maybe the church brings in a pumpkin. I've heard of stories whereby people were bidding close to 800,000, someone buying a pumpkin. And it's because of the people who work from Kampala. People say when the Kampala rich men head to the villages in churches, they have to show their worth, especially in such times of bidding and when the church is actually having a project they want to work on. And the bidding process is the most funniest. Every time church is closing or service is closing, someone buys a pumpkin at 800,000, just outnumbering the rest. And when it comes to offertory, the people from Kampala tend to give a lot of money during such a time. And then after service is done, on days like this in the evening, on Tuesday morning, they start calling guys in Kampala, man, help me with 100K, I'll give it to you in return. So,
by the way,
you've used all your money.
It's true.
While you're in the village, you're the rich guy back home, and then you forget that you have to come back to to business in Kampala.
That is very true. There is that, they call it impulsive sort of reaction, or some sort of you're trying to
to feel into the situation. You have to
and that's unethical. It comes to
handling money.
The way you handle your money.
Yeah,
financial management.
It's unethical. Yes.
Of course, it's so common so common with us, the salary earners at times. Very common, especially when you've just received your salary.
Yes.
And that's why it's not advisable to receive salary when you're heading into a public holiday. And I'm telling you, the public these holidays came in when people had just received salary in the week. So you feel like it's just like earning salary close to the weekend.
Yes.
You feel like buying for your guys every little thing in a bar. So financial management should be something very important. But speaking of financial management, investing should as well be something you should pick up and be part of. Zabu is a platform that is giving you that advantage. *292# is the USSD code that you can use today and kickstart off your investment. If you want to invest in government bonds and securities, register with the platform, and registration is simply done with your NIN or your national identification number, if I'm to put it in that way. Remember that the markets open at 8:15 a.m. and closing time at 3:15 p.m. They are fully closed during the weekends and on public holidays, so that means today they are not open. You'll only be able to invest tomorrow till Friday. And then investing is actually optional, but it should be priority, trust me, because you have to save while you invest. Save for investment. Zabu, my money, my future. Alltex East Africa, do something new. And of course, it's time for us to let go of Samna Hanifa, to let her enjoy her day as she continues to pile more reports for you, the viewer of Smart 24 TV. After the break, I return with Andrew, though, as we look into the SMB on ground, as well as the Easter holiday roundup. Good morning.